For 3 decades, the Casio family was Michael Jackson's most loyal shield. They defended him on Oprah. They defended him after leaving Neverland. One of them wrote a book in 2011 called My Friend Michael, An Ordinary Friendship with an Extraordinary Man, and in it, they repeatedly said Michael never harmed any of them. Now, 4 of the 5 Casio siblings have filed a federal lawsuit against Michael Jackson's estate, accusing him of the most serious allegations imaginable, including trafficking of minors across state lines and international borders. And the estate just fired back with a single word that changes the entire tone of this case. They called it a shakedown. This is now the biggest legal threat to Michael Jackson's legacy since the 2005 trial, and it's coming from the people who used to be his greatest defenders. Here's who the Cassios are. The family met Michael Jackson in the mid-1980s when their father, Dominic Cascio Sr., was working as a hotel manager at the Helmsley Palace in New York City. Jackson was staying there and struck up a friendship with the family. Over the next 2 decades, the Cassios became inseparable from Michael. They visited Neverland Ranch. They traveled with him on tour. They stayed in his hotel suites. They appeared on television defending him. Their son Frank Cascio became one of Michael's closest confidants, so close that he served as his personal assistant. They called themselves his second family, and Michael treated them like one. After the Leaving Neverland documentary aired on HBO in 2019, the Cassios privately changed their position. According to court documents, all 5 siblings, Edward, Frank, Dominic, Aldo, and Marie Nicole, began claiming that Michael had engaged in inappropriate conduct with each of them as children. The estate responded by signing a multi-million-dollar settlement with the family. Each sibling received $3.45 million. In exchange, the Cassios agreed to release all claims, maintain confidentiality, and resolve any future disputes through private arbitration, not public courts. That should have been the end of it. It wasn't. In 2024, Frank Cascio reportedly demanded $213 million from the estate. The estate called it extortion and filed claims against him in arbitration. Then, in February 2026, 4 of the 5 siblings, Edward, Dominic, Aldo, and Marie Nicole, bypassed the arbitration agreement entirely and filed a federal lawsuit in Los Angeles. The complaint accuses Jackson of being a serial predator who, over the course of more than a decade, subjected each of the plaintiffs to harmful conduct, beginning when some of them were as young as 7 or 8. The suit also includes allegations of trafficking, claiming Jackson transported them across state lines and international borders for the purpose of the alleged conduct. The locations listed in the filing include Neverland Ranch, New York, New Jersey, Florida, Las Vegas, France, South Africa, Switzerland, the United Kingdom, and Bahrain. The suit names the Michael Jackson Company, the estate, the trust, and associated production companies as defendants. The estate's response was immediate and aggressive. Attorney Marty Singer called the lawsuit a desperate money grab and a transparent forum shopping tactic designed to extract hundreds of millions of dollars. He pointed directly to the Cassio's own history, the 2011 book, the 2010 Oprah interview where Edward, Frank, and Marie Nicole all said on camera that Michael never harmed them, and 30 years of public statements defending Jackson's innocence. Singer said, the Cassios spent decades defending and affirming Michael's innocence. Notably, these shakedown attempts come more than 15 years after Michael's passing, thus carrying no risk of being sued for defamation. Then this week, just yesterday, the estate escalated further. In new court documents obtained by TMZ, the estate revealed that the Cassios were already paid $3.45 million each in the 2019 settlement, and that Frank subsequently demanded the incredible sum of $213 million. The estate is arguing that the arbitration clause in the settlement is valid and enforceable, meaning this case should be handled privately, not in a public federal courtroom. The Cassios attorney Mark Geragos, one of the most high-profile defense lawyers in the country, has called the original settlement unlawful and argued that the siblings were pressured into silence at a time when they weren't fully ready to process what had happened to them. A Beverly Hills court hearing on the arbitration question took place in January 2026. The judge declined to issue an immediate ruling and scheduled a follow-up. That means the fundamental question, whether this case stays private or goes public, still hasn't been answered. If the judge rules that the arbitration clause holds, the Cassios' lawsuit gets moved behind closed doors. If the judge rules the clause is void, this case goes to open trial. And if it goes to trial, with the biopic still in theaters, the streaming numbers at all-time highs, and a sequel in development, the collision between Michael Jackson's commercial legacy and his legal legacy becomes unavoidable. The estate says this is extortion from people who already got paid. The Cassios say the settlement was designed to silence victims. Both sides have lawyers willing to go to war over it, and the court hasn't decided yet whose version of the truth gets heard and whose gets buried. Subscribe, because when that ruling drops, we're covering it immediately.